to be in a rush, especially north and west where it's a little bit more slippery. We do have some delays on the Cross Bronx Expressway, a disabled vehicle right the Bruckner interchange all the way through the Sheridan, if not just a little bit past the Sheridan. Traffic is moving really slow. Eastbound direction, that is fine, but the roads are very wet, and you'll notice it by all that water being kicked up from the back of the cars. On our subways, we've added to the list of delays, so now 2-6 as well as the N train. Delays on northbound trains. Subways are doing okay. With rails this morning, Metro North, we're going to say delays potentially across the board here. And you want to budget some extra time into that commute if you have one. LA to Bellagio. But again, it's slippery out there. You have the winds also knocking off all of specifically. Alton inside the street parking. It's in effect today citywide. Meter rules also apply. More traffic and weather coming up, guys. It's 6:30. Back to you.
All right, Marissa, thank you so much. And staying with transportation here, the Port Authority is reportedly losing money at a record pace. NJ.com reports that the agency has lost about $1.2
December 17th. I'm John Muller.
Good morning. I'm Vanessa Freeman. 6.5 inches of snow had fallen by midnight in Central Park. That's according to the National Weather Service. That's more snow than we have gotten the entire 2019-2020.
Jersey, they are under a state of emergency. People are being urged to stay home and stay off those roads.
Of course, we do have team coverage for you on this Thursday morning, checking out the conditions across our area. Anthony DiLorenzo is in the city. Rebecca Solomon is in Hoboken, and Kirsten Torres, who is tracking this storm for us this Thursday. Good morning, Marissa.
This nor'easter coming in right on cue, continuing to bring some snow, even some sleet and rain to areas of the Tri-State. Radar very closely since it came in around 4 o'clock yesterday, and it's been persistent and continuing on through the overnight hours. So here's a look at the radar. Notice to the north and west over this city, parts of Queens into eastern parts, I should say western parts of Nassau County. We're still seeing some snowfall and then rain towards the eastern end of Long Island, but this area of low pressure is still situated just slightly to the southeast of us, so we still have a little bit of ways to go as we continue to track it, but we are going to be adding just a little bit more snowfall, at least until daybreak, when we see this officially exit out of the region by later this morning. So still some to get through, well north and west, where we're seeing some of the darker bands. That's where you saw some of the heavier. We still have some warnings that are out there. We have our winter storm warning in effect through 1 o'clock this afternoon, though we do expect most of this to be out of the way before then. What does stick around is going to be the wind. So the wind advisory is through 7 o'clock this morning for Monmouth and Ocean County, where we could still see some pretty hefty gusts at about 50 miles per hour. It's going to be breezy throughout the day, but not nearly as strong. So by this afternoon, it'll be even just a little bit better. But coastal flood warning, that's in effect 2 o'clock today, 8 a.m., 2 o'clock today during moments of high tide. So 2 to 3 feet above normal, moderate flooding, coastal erosion possible for areas along the Jersey Shore. Temperatures, this is something we've been closely watching as well because it's very dependent on the type of precipitation you're going to see. Everybody's below freezing. Cold, it is slick out there. You also have these winds that are still gusty, and the wind chill feels more like 9 degrees up in Westchester, feels like 15 in the city right now. So we'll march through the day planner. Notice visibility not great. You have some snow and some fog still falling. Notice by noon we're at 30 degrees, so it stays cold with our wind chills in place. Snow should be out of the way by late morning, early afternoon. We'll time it all out for you. Also talk about snow totals and then how much more we could be adding to that. It's all coming up ahead. We're also watching the commute, and again, if you do not have to be on the roads, you shouldn't be. It is very messy out there. It is very slippery, and you have still salt trucks and crews that are out trying to clear everything out of the way. So no surprise here. I'm going to step out of the way. We have some issues. Over on Route 7 in both directions, the road is actually blocked due to some down, I believe this is some down wires. I'll have to double check again, but this is between Schuler Avenue and the New Jersey Turnpike. So that's on Route 7. Notice how all the maps are reflecting the yellow and orange. It's essentially saying not because it's traffic that's slowing it down, it's because of conditions that are slowing it down. We have speed restrictions all across 95, so all along the turnpike, the entire span, they're asking you to slow it down. So this Washington Bridge. So this is in the local and express lanes. Nobody's out there. We still have some snow-packed roadways at this point, even on the main roads where they're still trying to clear them out. All the bridges and overpasses, you're also noticing speed restrictions down to 25, 35 miles per hour. Alternate side of the street parking, don't forget it's suspended. Meter rules, those remain in effect, guys. Back to you.
Check that out. Waking up to whipping winds out there. Some
throughout the morning show, because not only is the snow coming, feels almost more wet than just that, snow that comes down this way. All right, you guys, I am always up for a good science experiment. And if you recall a year ago when it was those below freezing record temperatures and I did my frozen water experiment.
Yep.
And it worked. So this morning,
down to a quarter mile, half a mile. And with this, in addition to the roads that aren't, that are still a little snow-packed in some areas and quite slippery, it's just very treacherous in terms of driving conditions that are out there. So just reminding you to stay home if you do not have to go out, not to hit the roads. Live radar tracking the snowfall, what we're still dealing with. So you saw with our... But if you're out in Suffolk County, Twin Forks, along the South Shore, you're seeing a little bit of mixing, if not rain, because of the milder temperatures near out through portions of central and southern Jersey. So that's some improving situation, at least that we're seeing on the backside of the system. The center, though, is actually just offshore. So we still have to get through the morning hours, and then I think we're going to be drying out behind that. We could still see some heavy up another half an inch or so, at least in the city. That's why the winter storm warning is still in effect for much of the region. And the biggest takeaway with that is that the driving conditions are not doing well. Wind advisory for the Jersey Shore, where we could still see some gusts up to 50 miles per hour. That'll expire later this morning. And then we still have moderate flooding risk. Beach erosion that you could also experience with this consistent northeast wind. Temperatures right now are cold. We're in the low to mid 20s, but with the winds that are out there and still quite windy, it feels more like the single digits in spots, feels more like 13 degrees right now in Central Park. So here's a look at this is the visibility you're working with again. By noon, 30 degrees, so we stay below freezing. We'll talk about the timing of the snow and when it'll be fully out of the way, and then talking about the weekend as well, all coming up ahead. Let's go ahead and switch over to traffic right now. So we'll start off on Route 17 with some down wires on Route 17. So this is out in Ridgewood, both directions being impacted, if not closed off completely, right near Ridgewood Avenue. So they're going to be detouring you off of that. Notice how all the roads are showing these orange and yellow traffic flows. That is because the conditions aren't good. So anything that's out there, anybody that's out there is moving pretty slow. We also have speed restrictions along the Parkway as well as the Turnpike, pretty much end to end. Speed restrictions also in place at the Bayonne Bridge. They're asking you to slow it down to 25 miles per hour. So what you're looking at right here, a little snow covered, but you'll notice the snow still on the ground. This is 440 out in Bayonne. So trying to get into Staten Island or into Bayonne right now, it's going to be a very slow ride for you. So just another example of what exactly the roads are looking like at 5 o'clock this morning. Alternate side of the street parking, it's suspended today. Citywide meter rules, those still apply, guys. Back to you.
All right, Marissa, thank you so much. Well, New Yorkers went to bed with the snow falling, and you woke.
Jersey, Union City is starting to dry out. You saw some snow, but light snow falling over Manhattan, through Staten Island, through the Bronx, and through Brooklyn and Queens. Taking a little bit further east, you notice that rain snow line. Look at that heavy rain over parts of Suffolk County, over the LIE. But with these temperatures so cold, be very careful out there due to any freezing that you're going to encounter on the roadway. And then notice along the Jersey Shore, so Long Branch over the Garden State Parkway, you're still seeing some snow right now. I'd say light to moderate, but notice if you go further south, you're already starting to dry out, even in parts of central Jersey right now, so you're kind of on the back end of it. So the snow is going to continue, but only through mid-morning. For most of us, the worst is over. However, we could see another inch or so, if not 2 inches in parts of the city. I think more so on the lighter end of that. 2 to 4 northwest in the suburbs, Poconos, Catskills, higher elevations, you could easily pack on another 3-4 inches. Gusty winds making it feel like the single digits outside right now. Cold air remaining in place for the weekend, so we're not even going to see any melting really from. Look at these heavy bands of snow that just continue to train through the area. We had mixing at times with sleet and rain, and it's continuing on. The center of this system is just offshore right now, so that's why some areas are already starting to dry out, but you still saw that heavier banding off through the higher elevations, and then coastal areas, you're closer to that warm air that's being brought up with this, and so that's why you're seeing rain. High pressure is going to push in, so that's going to help dry us out, but it's going to keep some of the gusty conditions. Notice by 9 o'clock, we're already on the back end and seeing some improving conditions through the boroughs, maybe some lingering light snow showers and flurries, but then by 5 o'clock, we're dry. Clouds start to part on the way, and then we have the clear clear skies, and then we really drop off with our temperatures, and that's where our attention turns. Right now, temperatures are in the 20s, feels more like the single digits and low teens out there right now. With these wind gusts, the worst of it will be through the morning, and will continue to lighten up as we go further into the afternoon, but we do have several downed trees and power lines from the
subway trains that are going to be out there. We also have some signal issues that are also already part of the commute. So delays on the FG6A and 3 train. But again, it is a reduced service schedule. They're working as hard as they can to keep everyone safe while also making sure everything's running properly. So if you have to travel, just make sure you give yourself extra time and be patient. With rails this morning, Metro North, for the most part, running on time. We'll say possible delays there and really across the board. LIRR running on a modified weekend schedule. New Jersey Transit is suspended for the morning rush until further notice. And then PATH, you are on or close to schedule. I'm just going to say delays across the board are possible, even some cancellations as they continue to work through. Here's a live radar. Let's go ahead and hang out, filling back in with some of that snow. It is light to moderate, I would say, especially to the north and through the city right now. You have some of that light snowfall still, and then a little bit heavier depending on where you are for Nassau County. Notice we have some of that rain still off over Suffolk County and coming down pretty good in spots, but that is further east of us. Wind chill, so the temperatures are the other part of this. So if you step outside on the skin, it's going to feel like 8 degrees up in Westchester, 13 in the city, and then you'll notice that it's going to continue heading through the day. Double barrel high pressure. However, this area of high pressure is riding along those north winds. That's going to be pushed to the south and right over us. As we march through the future cast, we have clearing skies. In fact, we're going to be mostly sunny by lunchtime, carrying us in through the evening hours. Now outdoor dining returning, but the cold air staying. So if you're going to take part, just make sure you take a blanket and extra layers. We're going to stay clear for the weekend on Saturday. Clouds will start to roll in a little bit by Saturday evening and really thicken up overnight into Sunday. And then watch what happens on Sunday. We're tracking our next precipitation. And I say precipitation because it could be another varying thing depending on where you are. So we're watching an area of low pressure develop. Now, some of the models still disagreeing exactly how this could play out. So we're going to continue to watch it. So this is just one particular one that carries it in Sunday through Monday. Looks like this area of low pressure staying offshore, delivering some rain to start. Not a lot of it, but then look what happens when you get the colder air through the interior portions. We could see some snow north and west, maybe some mixing, maybe once again that sleet situation, and then looking like rain for the coastal areas. But this could still change as we continue to march through the weekend, so we're going to watch that Sunday to Monday. Notice, though, once Monday and Tuesday arrive, our temperatures are seasonable, if not above seasonable, and by Christmas Eve, we're talking about rain, snow showers. Look at that temperature, near 50 degrees. Coming up in about 20 minutes, I'll show you an even warmer prediction for Christmas Eve before the cold arrives on Christmas Day. You got to see that. Subways, just a heads up, we have delays on the A train right now. The South Channel Bridge is apparently stuck in the up position, so that's why you have those delays. The rest of the subways are fine. They reopened at the 5 o'clock hour. They're looking good. Still could be a little slippery, though, as you head over to mass transit, so careful on the stairways. If you're going to be heading out to the ferries as we head out the calm the day after the storm, notice everything is on or close to schedule except for C Streak. You do still have a reduced schedule there. NYC Ferry is running. However, the ferry shuttle buses, those have been suspended. You know, you still have some city streets. Alternate side of the street parking suspended. Meter rules in effect, guys. Back to you.
Marissa, thank you. It is crunch